Hey guys, welcome back. So I got a video for y'all today all about this palette right here. This is the BH Cosmetics Marvyn Macnificent palette. So we're just gonna chat about all things related to this palette, like pricing, packaging, we'll look at some swatches, I'll talk to you guys about the formula of these shadows and Chique products in here, and what I think about them overall, how they are to work with, give you my overall thoughts and opinions on this palette, and then also show you a tutorial on how I did this look right here. So yeah. We're just going to chat about this palette, so let's get to it. Okay, so the price of this palette will vary based on what kind of sales are going on, but retail price at $17.50. This is what the outside sleeve looks like on it, and then the actual palette looks like this. Really pretty, and I think the whole like color story of the packaging definitely matches the color story on the inside. Pretty kind of peachy around the outside parameter of the palette. You open it up, there's a really nice mirror in here, and then this is what you're getting in this palette. So this is overall a very neutral palette, kind of overall warm tone neutral palette, and very glowy, but there's a great balance of mattes and shimmers in here. That's why I love it. These are all mattes here, these are mattes here. And then these are the two shimmery eyeshadow shades, but then these down here are all highlighters, but work great on the eyes as well. So really you're getting an awesome balance of mattes and shimmers in this palette. But overall, it's just a very neutral, glowy palette is how I would describe it. And it's kind of like peachy, so I think that's why the packaging goes really well with it. So here is what you're getting in here. Now for some swatches, starting on the top left side of the palette with the eyeshadows. This is meant to be dim cheeks though, At the Beach, Crusty, Karma, what is that word? Regelt, Karma Regelt, and then that one. And then next row, this is Crazy in Love, this is Modern, this is Rooftop, this one is Supercut, that dark brown there. The black is Breakdown, and then the highlighter shades, we've got Self-Made, Premium, Swirl Twirl, Deluxe, and Florets. The names are kind of like a golden, so I'm having to like move my palette around to be able to read the names. But there are all the swatches. Gorgeous. And then chatting about the formula on these shadows and how they are to work with, and my overall thoughts and opinions on this palette. These are so impressive. I mean, look at these swatches. They look like they're a cream shadow because they are so intensely pigmented. I mean, just beautiful. They are a powder shadow for sure. They're not a cream shadow, but they are just so buttery in texture that they're just super duper pigmented. I will say they do kick up a lot of product in the pan, mainly the mattes. I really don't notice as much with the metallic-y shades or the highlighters, but the mattes definitely kick up a lot of product in the pan. So they do seem like a soft, buttery, creamy sort of a formula to them. But just know that you definitely need to tap off your brush. I do notice a little bit of fallout on my face, but mainly when I'm using them as a liner. I don't notice as much when I'm using them, you know, just as a blending shade or a lid shade or whatever. But I would say just definitely tap off your brush. But you get intense pigmentation with these. They are easy to blend. They're easy to keep their differentiation of color, but still like softly blend together. So they're just really easy to work with, and they end up looking so beautiful on the eyes. They keep their vibrancy. Love the formula on them. So overall thoughts and opinions on this palette, I stinkin' love it so much. I'm a huge BH Cosmetics fan. I love so many of their palettes. It's hard to pick favorites, but I mean, this is one of those palettes that I would just reach for over and over and over because it is beautiful and neutral, but still special because of all those bright metallic-y shades. These are the kind of colors that I love to play with the most, so I know I will reach for this palette a ton, and I already have been. It's amazing. I love it. This is beautiful as a blush. These are pretty as a blush. So, I mean, you've got liners, you've got eyeshadows, you've got blushes, you've got highlighters in here, so it ends up being kind of an all-in-one sort of palette. It's amazing. I love the quality of it. I love the color story, and I think it's just beautiful. And I did want to mention formula on the highlighters, beautiful as well. They are that slightly thicker sort of a texture to them, so they can accentuate a little bit of texture, but I think it's just the fact that they are so metallic-y and light catching. I think they're a really nice formula, but just wanted to note that they are that thicker sort of a texture, but that's what makes them so intense and light catching. They're beautiful. I love them. That's my overall thoughts and opinions on the palette. So now we're gonna get to the tutorial. Let's get to that. Okay, so I've already applied some eyeshadow primer and set that. So I'm gonna use a couple of bases. I'm gonna use this Maybelline Color Tattoo in Urbanite is the name of it. Looks like this. I'm just gonna get some of this and apply it on kind of the outer part of my eyelid. Just kind of playing with products today, honestly. That's why I'm putting this on. This palette definitely does not need any kind of bases. It's awesome. And then I'm going to use this one in Chill Girl. This is a light kind of white sort of color. You can tell I've used it with this other one because it's got a little bit of discoloration in it, but it's really just kind of an icy white. So I'm going to take some of this and apply it on kind of the inner half of my eyelids. Okay, now I'm going to go in with my palette. I'm going to take a Cozette S175 brush and do a little combo of these two right here. And just apply this into my crease and transition area. I'm going to take some of this color right here and apply this kind of in the same area, but concentrating a little bit more in the outer corner, just kind of building up some depth and dimension. Kind of really just keeping it a little bit lower in the crease and then putting some in the outer corner. I'm going to take a Morphe M507 brush and get some of Crusty, some right here, and tap off my brush and apply some of this in my outer corner just for that depth and dimension. I'm going to use one of the highlighters as an eyeshadow, so I'm going to take this middle one right here, which is Swirl Twirl, on a Bdellium Tools 777 brush. Get that on there, tap off my brush. Ooh, I need my setting spray, hang on. Okay, got it. So just gonna spray my brush and then apply this on kind of about like half of my lid. Just using my finger to apply a little bit, kind of more on the inner part, because that just makes it pop even more. This is already so glowy and bright, but I'm trying to make it just as glowy and bright as possible. I can go back in if you feel like you lost any of those colors and kind of lightly reapply. I'm going to get a little bit of Karma Regelt and use an Eyeliner E05 brush. And I'm going to spray my brush with some setting spray and use this as my liner and line my upper lash line with this. And I did do a little bit of a wing just to kind of raise my eyes a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to apply some mascara. I'm going to use the BH Cosmetics Stellar Lash and the IT Cosmetics Superhero Mascara. So I'm going to apply this to my upper lashes and I'll be right back. I went ahead and applied some concealer, powder, and bronzer. So for my lower lash line, I'm going to get some of this one right here, which is At the Beach. Get some of that on a Sedona Lace EB 21. Tap off my brush and run this along my lower lash line. I'm going to get some of Deluxe, this highlighter down here on that same brush. Tap it off. Going to spray my brush with some setting spray and apply this kind of to the middle of my lower lash line, just for a kind of little metallic-y pop there. Okay, and then last step for the eyes, I'm going to get some of Florets on a pencil brush and apply this to the inner corners of my eyes and then also a little bit on the inner part of my lower lash line, just for a pretty bright pop. Just going to finish up the eyes with some CoverGirl Clump Crusher Mascara on my lower lashes. To finish up the rest of my face, I'm going to get some of this shade right here, which is Dim Cheeks though. A little bit of that, and then I'm going to pop a little bit of that as well, the one next to it, At the Beach. So a little combo of these, but mostly concentrating on that one. I'm going to get that on an angled brush and apply this as my blush. For cheek highlighter, I'm going to use a little combo of these two right here, these two highlighters, on a Bdellium Tools 787 brush. Tap off my brush and apply this to my cheekbones. Just build up this color. And then just FYI for lips, I'm going to use Jordana's Easy Liner for Lips in Tawny, and then this Revlon Ultra HD Vinyl Lip Polish in Act Natural. Okay guys, so that wraps up this video. So I hope that you really enjoyed it and I hope it was helpful for you. Please do a thumbs up if it was. Let me know down below what you think about this palette. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on it or your other favorites from BH Cosmetics. Let me know that. Ask me any questions that you have. I'm happy to answer those. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I'll see you in the next video.